ISIS executioners are committing the most brutal crimes imaginable. But what kind of psychology allows this level of barbarism? Joining us to try to get inside the mind of the world's most feared terrorists is Javier Amador. He's a psychologist from the Leaf Institute. Great to see you, Javier. Thanks so much for being here. Sure. You have spent time studying the world's worst terrorists. You spent time in the London mosque that trained Moussaoui and the shoe bomber. What is is there something different about their psychological makeup than normal people?
Let me be fair to the Brixton Mosque in London. Actually, Abu Bakr, the imam there, was not part of the extreme, and it's good contrast, by the way, the extremist Islamic movement. In fact, Abu Bakr, who I spent a lot of time with, described Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, and Zacarias Moussaoui when they first came. It was the Finsbury Park Mosque, which literally would set up across the street pickets and shout to the young men coming out, "We are the true believers we are the true Islam. We in fact have the real message." Zacarias Moussaoui and Richard Reed and others like him came oftentimes disenfranchised, homeless, were shown great kindness in the Brixton Mosque. In fact, when I walked through the doors and I took my shoes off and I was greeted by a 10-year-old boy, I have to tell you, I felt the warmth, the family, the community that is mainstream Islam.
And is ISIS in the same category, or had they ratcheted it up to such a different level that there is some psychosis of people who join ISIS in a way that's different than what you experienced?
Absolutely different. And I guess I'm drawing the contrast only because where both Richard Reed and Zacarias Moussaoui entered Islam was through a mosque and through an Islamic scholar that was not preaching violent jihad.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Did you hear the conversation that we had before?
Yes.
What did you think of it?
Look, I think the fact is, I've read the Quran 3 times now because of the various cases I've worked on. I've worked on a number of cases down at Gitmo, the 9/11 co-conspirator cases. I've had to learn what it is I'm hearing. And there is a great deal of violence that is, in fact, attributed to the Prophet and to his teachings. But it is in a particular context. I agree with that. And it's taken out of context by people like the leaders of ISIS.
It's still part of Islam, right? Even though it's taken out of context, it's people who are part of the Islamic faith who are carrying that out, correct?
You can't deny it. It's
but is it
black
meant
and
to
white.
be taken literally when it says to crucify people and to take a knife to their necks? Is that meant to be taken literally?
Clearly, when I've spoken with and met with, and certainly what I have read and what I know of mainstream Islam, of course not. We know that's not the case. Exactly. It's just a simple fact.
Right.
The Islamic faith is not a violent faith. These are extremists. Like in the previous discussion, a Christian bombing an abortion clinic. That's an extremist taking Christian faith and certain Christian beliefs to an extreme.
In
every religion, yes.
Yeah, and just by the same token, when you say "Let he who has not sinned cast the first stone," if you didn't sin in that particular category, doesn't literally mean that you're supposed to cast the first stone. And I think that's what people are sort of in the Islamic faith do that. But my question is there an optics problem? Do Muslims around the world understand that when you see the pictures of ISIS on television, when you see Boko Haram, when you see the pictures of 9/11, that there is an image problem, and many people, the average person thinks that maybe the Islamic faith is more violent than many
Absolutely.
faiths.
In this country, that was my experience after 9/11. That was my experience. The hate mail I received working on the Zacarias Moussaoui case, the first defendant related to the 9/11 attacks, was incredible.
Is that warranted, though?
No.
Dr. Amador, thanks so much for being here. Great to talk to you. We'll be right back.